My name is Richard Parris Scott, and you are listening to When We See Each Other.
Hello, world. My name is Nikkiesha McLeod, and you're listening to When We See Each Other, presented by Stereoactive Media. When We See Each Other is a podcast that focuses on music and art by BIPOC, queer, trans, and non-binary artists, as well as artists I've met and known for some time. This episode, we're interviewing composer, producer, singer-songwriter, and musician Richard Parris Scott. First, we'll listen to the track Honey off of Parris's album All's Good, and then we'll jump right into the interview. Here we go. Hi, Paris. Welcome to When We See Each Other. So glad to have you on the show and to finally meet you. How are you doing today?
Hi, Nikki. I'm doing really, really well. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So, just gonna jump right into the stuff. And I first wanted to give some space to recognize and talk about what's on pretty much everyone's mind. All the things that are happening politically right now. Um, I wanted to know how it's been affecting you.
Um, yeah, definitely trifling, definitely outrageous. And like just when you think it's like, okay, well, the madness has stopped, the next news cycle is something even crazier. Um, it's made me really, I think, put into perspective how my identity is truly seen in this country. I think that I have a little bit of privilege living in a state like Massachusetts, which is just so happens to be the only state that actually voted all blue in every county. Um, you know, how that impacts my life versus someone living in a different part of the country. Um, I've like found this like new, I guess, just gratefulness for like the opportunities that I do have, and it's lit a
Mm,
fire under me to really use all those opportunities to the best of my ability. Yeah.
right. Based on that, how have you been practicing hope and experiencing joy? Because I feel like, honestly, right now, we definitely need to practice hope. And I feel like that is just for me at least. I know how incredibly hard that is. Um, to just really believe that things are, you know, to believe in, well, not even believing in things getting better or whatever, but just believing in yourself, believing in your friends, your family, and then also just just remembering to look at the things that bring you joy, and appreciate them. Yeah, so how exactly are you practicing hope and experiencing joy?
One of the things I've like really, really been just so grateful to explore and have and realize just the true power of is just sheer community.
Mhm.
And I felt like in my city for a while that the community is a little bit disjointed and we could use more spaces to just exist, more third spaces, period.
Mm.
So I, together with my roommate, we decided to open up our household once a month, and we started a little series called All's Good Sundays. It's every third Sunday of the month. And basically we'll have like a featured artist that's local and then a performing artist and then featured uh visual artists as well. And then kind of create like this open jam, open mic, you can like paint, you can like, just do whatever. Um
Wow.
and through the winter months, we started in October and that we did it outside then. But through the winter months, I'm like, okay, people are not gonna come, it's whatever. But I've been just like absolutely shocked and like gagged at like just like how consistent people like really will come, will show out just to support
Yeah.
each other. But also just like it 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 feels, like, chilling how needed it is, like, people are like,
Mm.
"Yeah, like, I need this place to just, like, stop for 3 hours," and just, like, before I had to keep going again and just, like so, um, yeah, Oscar Sundays, I think that's been it, and every time I'm like, it rears its head, I'm like, "Okay, we have to clean the whole house, and then we have to do this, and we have to do this," and I don't wanna do it. Like, by the end of the time, and everyone is just, like, vibed out and just done everything, and it's potluck style, and
Mm.
I'm like, it's, like, worth it all over again every time. That's, like, the way.
Yeah.
I figured I'm like, "Okay, I can create an escape. Let's do that."
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But then also creating an escape where everyone can join in on that.
Mm,
I really feel that. I feel like that is so necessary, as you said, right now,
mhm.
particularly right now, in order to just to get through, to move through the motions of this. So wow, that's amazing. That's really awesome that you thought of that and then actually went through with it.
Thank you.
So is that one of the primary things that are bringing you joy these days? Or is there other things that is bringing you joy and providing you hope?
Aside from that, I think, teaching really does. I teach brass and percussion, K through 12 in, like, my city and surrounding towns through a program called Sonido Musica at the Community Music School of Springfield. And essentially what we do is us as teaching artists will go to different schools throughout the day. So I have, like, probably 3 sites I go to a day, throughout the week. And we basically supplement and or will basically, like, create a band program or string program, at, public schools or help, band directors kind of, like, run classes because I mean, the ratio is just off sometimes. Um, and I did not think I would want to do that. I was like, performing artist, I'm playing my trumpet, I'm singing my song, I have my band, that's it, like, I'm good, I'm just gonna hark on that and, like, that's gonna be it, but I found so much fulfillment in, like, basically creating, an opportunity to start music and have access to it when I, like, did not. Like, I didn't even
Yeah,
have music in elementary school, and most of my sites are
right.
elementary schools now. It's insane. I'm like, if
Wow.
I had this when I was in 4th grade, I would've I wonder where I'd be now, but,
Yeah.
yeah. Even if, like, the students don't continue music, just I think that interaction with it is just so important, and,
Yeah.
like, seeing when, like, a child, like, picks up a trumpet and they're like, "What is this
Mm.
thing?" And then the
Mhm.
day that lesson where it clicks and it just
Mhm.
opens up and they're like, "Wait, I can do it." It just blows my mind every time.
Yeah, exactly. Seeing the transformation too,
Yes.
in the kids. Well, I used to work with kids as well a long time ago, and it was for this particular camp, a dance camp. And I literally hear you about seeing them change and where it clicks. And they realize that, wow, I can actually do this.
Yeah.
I can make sound. I can do this pose. I can look like a swan. I can dance like, an angel or something. That's amazing. And then it just really it makes them even more empowered and just more poised and confident.
Yes.
So yeah, that's totally, I mean, that's remarkable. That's really awesome. That's awesome that you do that.
Thank you.
So anyway, speaking of which, so what inspired you to first start making music?
Oh, goodness. Um, I, played trumpet for 10 years. I started
Mhm,
in 6th grade and,
mhm.
band just, like, was my life. I fell in love with it. Did band throughout middle school and high school, and I started composing actually in middle school. Um,
Wow.
and
Seriously?
yeah, I didn't know that notation software was a thing, so I was just in there, like, with my hand just so I used to go on Google, I would print out the little, like, empty sheet music, and then I would have, like, all the sheets, and then, like, to transpose for the different instruments, I used to just count the half steps because I, like, didn't know, like, music theory or anything.
Mm,
But the thing about it is, like, I did it, and then my middle school band director, she let me actually, like, have that piece performed with the band, that spring concert, and, like, that just, like, completely changed me. I was like, "Wait a minute, like, what is this?" So, my music journey didn't start with recording at all, it started as a composer, and I continued that work, like, throughout high school, and it wasn't until the good old the big 2020 where I decided to pick up an actual microphone and use my voice.
mm,
Um, yeah, yeah, high school was interesting for music-wise. I definitely, started, getting a taste of the real world, getting a taste
mm,
of just interacting with different people.
mhm,
Um, and I think part of what makes teaching kids in my city so special is because I didn't have the best, experience in my high school band program, and that
mhm,
left me feeling disinterested with music in a way,
mm.
leaving high school and entering the pandemic and all this other stuff. I just was like, I didn't touch my trumpet for, like, 2 years. I was, like, over it. I
Wow.
could not. Um, And I needed to create a relationship with music at that point regardless that didn't have anything to do with band because band is long over. Band is long gone. I was, like, praying, like, "Okay, I'll get band again in, like, college." But then college was on a screen. Band was not
Yeah,
quite there. So,
right.
recording really, it forced me in a really beautiful way, I think, to create a relationship with music that is, like, who are you, like, as the person? Like, what do you have to
Mm,
say, you know?
yeah.
It got very direct and it got very real, and it was really bad. It was so gloriously bad.
Oh
But,
my god.
that's I think that's where my recording, artistry began for sure.
And you persevered, honestly. You came back to it. Like, that's the amazing part. That just means I don't know, I feel like that means to me that it was meant to be, like,
Yeah,
you had, like this was a part of your soul, and you needed to do it. You just have to do it, kind
yeah,
of, like.
yes.
So, do you remember, like, the first well, you mentioned that you started composing in middle school. What did w do you remember the first composition that you did?
The Mission. It's
The
called The Mission.
Mission.
Yes, The
Oh my
Mission.
god.
Um, yes, I do. I remember it was like, smaller ensemble,
Mhm,
percussion, had, like, all the fixes, flute parts, clarinet, saxophone, trumpet, like, 2 parts for everything.
mhm.
And it's, like, kinda like this march, kind of 12/8 march situation. I don't know, I always, like, had ideas, like, in my brain. I'm like, "Da, da, 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 da," and then, like, when I figured out, "Oh, okay, people can, like, play that." It just,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Wow, that's awesome, that's awesome. So, you did band. That basically started you off into the music scene, the beginning that so I wanted to know, I know you mentioned that you only picked up singing after playing the trumpet. Is that correct?
In a way, yes, in a way.
Okay.
I always sang as a child. I was always, like, hollering and just
Mm.
like, there's
Yeah,
little
I right.
there's videos of me just making noise. And then I remember, like, uh, going through, uh, puberty as a boy, like, my voice was, like, changing, and then the trumpet kinda came in at the same time. So, I think I, like, basically put all that noise just straight into the trumpet, and I just, like, practiced that. And then I really didn't start singing again until junior year at high school when they put me
Mm.
in this musical. Oh my goodness. They made me Donkey. I was Donkey in Shrek, the musical, and they had me hollering all these notes on the stage. And I was like, "Okay, I sound kinda crazy because I have been singing, like, since my voice became a baritone." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. So towards the end of high school, I was like, "Okay," and I think I've got my footing in the last few years with it.
So would you say, like, you gravitate more towards trumpet, or well, now since you're singing more,
Yeah.
do you gravitate more towards the singing, or towards the trumpet
Uh,
horn playing?
I, um, I gravitate towards the piano.
Oh, the piano.
I
Okay.
gravitate towards the piano. I think trumpet has been, like, up and down, but recently, right now, it's, like, coming back. I'm like, I'll have
Mhm.
it out, and I'll just pick it up anytime. And then singing,
Mhm.
like, I sing in the shower, I sing for shows, I sing
Mm.
into a microphone, but, like, my entire, like, songwriting process is now, like, takes place at the piano, and, like, I feel like the piano, I can just it's given me a really vast, like, I think, understanding of music as a whole. It's really helped me explore my vocabulary, and I can sing
Mm.
what's on the piano. I can play on trumpet what's on the piano. Um,
Great.
and, yeah, yeah, and my roommates bless their souls because they really do everyone's an artist here, and it's great because 'cause I'll just be hollering at 12 AM, and they're like, "That sounds great, Paris." I'm like, "Okay, thanks." Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you kinda touched on your process,
Yes.
your, musical process. how do you approach it? Like, does it just happen? You just come up with like a melody in your head and you're like, ah, maybe I should try this
Mhm.
on the trumpet or do you just start playing something, you just start messing around on the piano and you then realize that this could be a song that you can sing?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your process?
It's a mixed bag for sure. But I think most of the time, I usually hear the finished product in my head first,
Wow.
and then I'll figure out what my brain just did. So, like,
Mhm.
I'll hear, like, the chord progression, and then I'll hear, like, the general melody. Lyrics will come in later.
Uh-huh.
I'll hear, like, the melody way before I hear the lyrics, or sometimes there'll
Mhm.
be, like, one, like, little hook that's, like, in my head, but, like, I'll hear what I want the song to feel like, and then I'm like, I gotta run to the piano and go figure that out. Um, yeah,
Okay, and I think you have a Caribbean heritage. Is
I
that true?
I do.
Oh my god. Where? Which part of the Caribbean?
Jamaica.
So you're, like, the only musician in your family, the only artist in your family?
Yeah, pretty much that I know, yeah. Pretty much.
And how do they feel about it? Like, um, do they share in, like, your, excitement and just sorta encourage you? How's that play out with, your family? Because I know, for myself, like, a lot of, like maybe it's a generational thing, but I know during the time when I was growing up, but this was also in the Caribbean, that, it wasn't really something the arts wasn't really something that was pushed on on you,
Mhm.
or if anything, it was kind of like, well, you're just going through a phase and you are gonna be a doctor when you grow up.
Yes.
So so yeah, I don't know, did you have that sort of experience, or do you have that experience with your family, or
Yeah, I think in realizing that music is not just something that I like, but I literally don't have a choice,
Mhm.
I have it's just been parallel with me on my journey to just, like, discovering who I am as a whole. I feel like for every, time that I've made a self-discovery about myself, whether that be just, like, my personality or it is, like, my sexuality or it is my gender, there's been a piece of music that has been the soundtrack along the way. So, for every time that there was push against who I was, to me, that felt like a push against my artistry as well,
Mm.
because those 2 things, I don't think they ever really separated,
Yeah.
I can't think of a time where I was, critiqued for my gender expression, and that didn't feel like a critique of my artistry and my music as well.
Mm.
Um And I will say that, my mother did always used to say, that, everything is fine as long as, like, I go to school.
Right.
Um, and it's interesting because I think to me, looking back at it, I think, there's always that push of like, oh, well, you know, my child, my Paris went to so and so, got this degree in X, Y, and Z. And coming to really maturing into it is really realizing that, true artistry doesn't come from a degree. They don't teach that at school, honey. Trust me, I was there and I didn't see it. But it's fine. It's okay. But I don't know. Yeah, that's that. That's that.
Yeah. No, I could see the parallel, between, like, expressing yourself and then also expressing it through music. Like, I really don't think I think there could be a separation for the most part. For some artists, it is, but I don't know, I think for most of us who are musicians and singer-songwriters and composers, there is like, uh, there's v there's not much space in between, your identity and then also what you're singing, what you're composing, what you're writing. Because I feel like it's an extension of, like, your inner soul, your guts, really, you know? So yeah, I totally hear you on that.
Yeah, I was obsessed with, Avatar: The Last Airbender. I still am
What
obsessed.
wait, what? Sorry?
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I'm still obsessed with Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I feel like I'm a music bender, like, that's what it is.
Yes. Oh my god, I love that. Yes,
That's
a
what I am.
music bender.
Yes.
Yes. Totally. Oh my god, that is I'm stealing that now. I'm just gonna steal
I'll
that.
expect the check in the mail, I'll expect the
I wanted to just, like, jump into your album, All's Good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I really loved it. I seriously loved it. I've been listening to it ever since you sent it to me, sent the link to
Oh my
me. Like,
gosh.
when did I reach out to you? I think it was in January, I think?
January, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, "Yeah, this is such fire." Oh my god.
Thank you.
It felt like a story was unfolding, and I honestly felt like I was experiencing the vastness of R&B and soul. Like you experimented with so many ways that R&B and soul can be expressed,
Yeah.
from a hint of reggae,
Yeah.
pop, hip hop,
Yeah. Yeah.
gospel, to even funk. Like,
Yes.
I was hearing funk, I was just like, "Wow, this is like." Oh my god, it was just like an expansion happening right in front of me, well, at least in my brain. So I wanna think that it was intentional. Was it intentional to, approach everything like that, the album in that way?
Absolutely. I gotta mention the heifer at least once. Thank you, Beyonce. Because Lemonade really like set the tone for like how a story can be so cohesive and the music so
Mhm,
diverse. And I took that, I was like,
mhm,
okay, I really pushed myself to like once I found myself, okay, the album's in this groove. How do I switch it? And how
mm,
does it still carry on? So the album kind
right,
of came together like a big puzzle piece, I think, for me. It's like just moving it and shifting it and like using my arranging and composing skills to like kind of connect the
mhm,
story. So, making some of those like funky transitions happen and like those like little minute things like music there. I'm
yeah,
like, we're gonna end on this chord, and then the first the song of this is gonna be on this, but then the feels different. But so yeah, I think for me the album and the story I think is about the myth of time is one of like
mm,
the really like secret metaphors I think for me, and I wanted to showcase that through the genres, through the feels, because I'm telling this story and I'm time traveling at the same time. One song
wow,
it takes place in the
yes,
70s and one's in the
yes,
2000s, and it's like it's the same story, and like
right,
and it's my story as a trans person is like it gives it like validity. It's like
right,
because it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter who you think I am or who you've experienced this. Someone has experienced this. This is a human
yeah,
experience that has happened over and over and over and over again.
yes.
Um, so yeah, I really wanted to just get different feels, and honestly, I'm a little like indecisive. I was like, well, I don't want to just do because but it's because I
Are you though? Are you really indecisive? Or maybe that's just part of your master plan?
you caught me. I was fibbing. I'm very decisive. I'm very, very decisive. I think it would have been a beautiful project if I started with Jupiter's Groove and throughout the whole album. I think everybody hears Jupiter's Groove and they think the entire album is gonna sound like that, and I love that it just does not at all.
No. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel like you had more to say. Please go for it.
I suppose I wasn't very respectful. I got a little disrespectful on there. That's fine.
You were?
A little
Well,
bit.
yeah, there were moments. There were definitely moments where it was just like, I'm gonna do it. I am just gonna do it, and you're just gonna watch me do it, and that's it. That's all that matters. I am going to show myself. I'm gonna shine. I am just going to rock this, and
Rock.
yeah. But you did bring up a really good point, about the time traveling and how we all experience that at some particular time, and I feel like the storyline theme itself, even though we're time traveling, we're still discussing the same thing about, basically love.
Yeah.
I felt like that was the reoccurring theme, reoccurring thought, throughout the album, um, in terms of like, whether it is loving yourself, being loved romantically or platonically. Um, and so like, that was really cool. And I love the fact that you actually even say that it is like time traveling in the sense of loving yourself from the past and now in the future and the present, and that can be in so many different ways and different forms, and I feel you really captured that on this album. Do you wanna talk a little bit more about the aspect of love in terms of, like, your approach to creating this album?
Wow, thank you so much. I'm just so grateful to, like, it's like 3 years in the making and, like,
Mm,
you listen to it over and over and over and over again. I'm like, "I
yeah,
love this, I hate it. I love this, I hate it." Um, and to hear that planning and the just all the nights, all
uh-huh,
all of the leaving the studio at 6 a.m. and just, like, in the
mhm,
cold, just walking, no car, no um, to hear that, like, connected is just that's everything, that's the dream, and that's what I love, and, I think this so I'm looking down, I'm, like, staring at the studio right now, just like,
yes,
um
yes,
I wanted to, with this project, show that I was like just not perfect, and I did not want to be the protagonist of the story necessarily. And
mhm,
I think in some aspects, I tried to not try to play the villain, but try to keep this like almost bird's eye view of the situation. I'm not afraid to be wrong, and I wanted to speak from a perspective throughout the story, that wasn't at my most healed place, because
mm,
if the story is chronological and we end at wonder and we have this realization, I didn't want to tell the entire story from the perspective of wonder. Perhaps aside from Jupiter's Groove, which kind of feels like this, like almost like narrative introduction, and then Honey is like really like I'm just in it. Like I don't know anything that's gonna happen. I don't know anything that like I don't know the lessons yet. So,
yeah,
um, I wanted to really get in touch with that younger version of myself, albeit 3 or 4 years, and really tell that person's story and make
yeah,
sure that that person was heard. Um,
yeah,
plus I think it just lends itself to more interesting narrative that way. Um,
mhm,
'Cause it could very much so harp on, like, "Well, this is what you should do, and this is what this is, and this is what the da 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 da," and no one wants to hear that. But, I mean, you might,
mhm,
but, I think I definitely, I'm proud of that Paris,
yeah,
for letting themselves be loved in the first place or feel that or think to feel that or whatever was going on. Even like regardless of of you know who Mr. Silky is or what happened there, you know growing from a person who just would abstain from everything altogether. It's just not
Mm,
sustainable, and,
mhm,
I wanted to be really human, and I wanted
mm.
to let myself be really human and feel everything, and if I'm gonna feel something, let me feel it all the way because I'm tired of the gray. That,
Yeah,
yeah,
and there's a level of tenderness involved in that as well, I felt like, and I think that's also expressed, in on the album. I can't remember which particular song. I wanna say, Oceans maybe, but there was also another song that was really there's a lot of vulnerability and
unlovable.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes. How did that feel when you created that? Like, what was that like? Yeah, tell us about it.
Unlovable is oh, Miss Squirrel. Uh, I needed a theme song for my girly pops who have experienced nothing but unrequited love. I needed something that, like, I could go to, uh, y in during those lows.
Mm,
Um, and it was actually so I spent so much time working and reworking, working and reworking, like, the harmonies and what, like, the chord progression would be.
mhm,
But in the end, I think, like, letting myself not feel polished, whether vocally or, arranging, like, I really wanted that song, and, especially a lot others um to feel like someone was telling the story as opposed to, like, the story telling you about someone, and I'm eternally grateful, I think, to a good friend of mine, Alton Skinner, who actually played the saxophone on that song,
mm,
like, you're just right here in my bedroom, um, recording it, and I'm like, you know, and I still get, like, embarrassed too if, someone's like, "Oh, you have an album? Like, let's play a song," and then they click on Unlovable, and I'm like, "No!" Like, not but, I, like, learned to be proud of it because it's needed,
yeah,
and it's real, and I think those between Unlovable and they're so different, and I transitioned them right after the other like a maniac, but I was like, "I don't care, it just has to be that," because that's, like, the main, like, I think, tension of it for me. I think those 2 songs are, I think, the 2 most revealing about, like, my state of being. I think the
mhm,
confidence, in the album, it kinda, like, goes like this. It, like, starts up
yeah,
and then goes just to a low, and then it builds afterward, and I think that's, I think part of that is, like, now I think about it now, kind of a metaphor for, like, my self-confidence or, like, what I thought my
mm,
self-confidence was. Like, I
mhm,
feel like freshman year of high school, like, I had this, like, persona, and I was like, "Oh, yes, and I am blah, blah, da da da." It's just like this and I was just this short little thing. No wonder people were so fed up with me, and I was just with my little trumpet. I just felt like I could play these high notes, and I was that person, and I think, life, is, like, kinda that shell kinda comes apart, and I feel like I've been building who are you really? Like, who are you actually? And let's derive that confidence from a place that, like, can't be touched. Like, it's not a persona, it's just a person.
mhm,
And, I think Unlovable helps to kinda personify where I was when I really did not have that, like, wall or shield that I built for myself anymore. Like, I
mm,
completely dismantled that. I'm like, "What now?" You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
And who am I now? Like,
Yeah, like, what does it
or
mean to not be, a mean person, or a defensive
mhm,
person, I should say.
mm, yeah. Wow, that's really deep. I felt that. I felt it really. I really did feel it. And that kind of brings me to like my other question around the album. As a composer, musician,
Mm.
singer-songwriter, do you consider yourself as a poet as well?
That is such Oh god, question again. Oh my gosh. Um, my relationship with poetry is very interesting. Um, I before I wrote the album, I wrote some poetry. I
Mm,
found it to be like a really, really accessible way for me to put pen to paper of like what I was feeling in a way that was musical but not musical. Like I don't have to worry about a hook. I don't have to worry about this. I'm just writing what I'm writing and using my little English AP skills from senior year, putting that to work because I was there. Uh, um and I'm like, okay, and I think I haven't used poet to describe myself. I've seen some amazing poets and I've seen them perform and I'm inspired by them. And I think my artistry could lean there. And I don't
okay.
know. Do you think I'm a poet?
Well, I mean, I felt like there were certain lines that were really catching me in that sphere. But the thing is, it's just like I felt like there wasn't any separation. Like it was a part of the whole fabric of the music and everything. Like um, there was no separation from those forms of creativity. They all melt into each other. Um, and that's kind of like why I'm asking because I felt like there was a level of poetry not only being expressed in sound, but also the mixture of the words as well. And there were moments where you were flowing, where you were basically giving us bars, and I was just like, "Well, shit," It's just like, "What's going on here?" And I was like, "Okay, so so that's why I felt like that was a part of, that was a demonstration of there's no real separation when you're doing art from the heart."
Yeah. I never considered myself a rapper or a MC, but um I'm assuming that you are alluding to Sumi Silky, the second half.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You know what's actually insane is that second half, that whole second half started off as a poem,
Oh, oh my
and I
god.
reworked it on the beat.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Wow. Wow. That
It's
is amazing.
poetry, like, when I write poems, I, like, write way better than when I'm, like, trying to write a song.
Mm.
I'm like, I'm gonna have to switch the way I write a little bit, because I don't know, because I feel, like, the pressure to write smarter. And, like, use, like, more, okay, if I because I'm not gonna sing and I don't have, like, the skill of my tonality to hide behind and, like, the words that I'm saying, like, need to be, like
Mhm.
there needs to be a double entendre somewhere. There needs to be some kinda wordplay. There needs to be something. There needs to be, like, I don't know. But yeah. Silky's important. I love Sumi Silky.
Yes,
Well,
it's so
well,
good. It's
what do you
so
think?
good.
What do you think of Sumi Silky? A lot of people are, like, I think I think some people they either, like, love it or, like, it's, like, off-putting the first time. How did it land for
How
you?
did it come off to me? It was just like it was more of a surprise because I mean, I was getting the sense that this was not going, every song is not gonna be like the last,
Yeah,
but there is still the same story happening.
yeah.
But then, like, when that happened, I was just like, "Whoa, this is just, like, even more of a different thing that I was expecting." Like, I was not expecting this, and so it was really refreshing because I was just like, "Wow, this is taking it to another level in terms of listening and understanding and appreciating the album
Mhm.
as it, in its own entirety." So yeah, kudos.
Thanks.
So you did bring up a little bit about identity, and we did discuss a little bit about that and how it's reflected in your music. If you want to, can just explore a little bit more on that. Just speak a little bit more about like how does your identity come through in your music. I know that, but I really want others to understand how this is a part of your journey as an artist, and just wanted to bring that up.
Um, thank you. Thank you so much. I, I feel like I feel like I play with, like, lack of detail a lot and, like,
Mm.
play with obscurities. It's the Virgo sun, but we're not gonna do that right now. I, I really wanted to first of all, I wanna say that, like, I am just the Black queer musicians that, like, come before me and have, like, laid this, like, beautiful path for me to, like, even, like, occupy space and, like, be inspired to, like, write my story in the first place. Beyond, just beyond. And,
Mhm.
I think with my introduction, I didn't want any one aspect of myself to overshadow my humanity. And I think my particular strategy, just the way that, um, it speaks to me to stay active, someone who's, like, not an activist anymore, but, has transitioned really to full artistry is, is simply existing. Um, and
Mm.
not so simply existing, really, but simply
Mhm.
existing. That I think bigotry, racism, homophobia, what have you, the real sinister part of these things is that it forces the people that are being marginalized to continue to advocate for themselves instead of just being themselves.
Mm.
Right? The real toxic thing of racism is it keeps Black people fighting to prove that they are worth being a human being and keeps
Mhm.
them distracted from actually just being the thing that they need to be.
Right.
And I wanted to really honor the ancestors by just being, just the fact that it's not necessarily a message where you hear, I'm having trouble saying this. Come on, you got a PR.
You got this.
I wanted to exist first. I think that was, like, the most important thing for me. I think I have so many more things to say, and I need to keep telling myself that so that I'll actually stay here and say the thing. Um, but all's good to me was, like, I exist. My
Mm.
experience is no different from yours.
Mhm.
Um, you can relate to this. We are actually all human, and this
Mhm.
is just, like, the start of that, you know? As a matter of fact, recently, there was a one-day boycott of, like, all these major corporations, right? It was like a don't buy
Yes.
day situation,
Yes.
and I remember being highly irritated, um, because I felt like I'm, like, looking at the definition of I cracked open the Webster dictionary, and this is not a boycott, a fear. And I didn't discourage anyone from doing it, but I also just, like, was not seeing the vision. And I recently was enlightened by a creator, and what she said really stuck with me, and that was that, you know, people no one just stumbles across being enlightened. No one just, like, wakes up and it's like, "Oh, I know how the process needs to, like, work. I know how, this system needs to be dismantled and X, Y, and Z." Like, at some point, we're all ignorant, and at some point, we all got angry, and at some point, we all did our research, and at some point, we all reached where we are. And a lot of people in our country, for example, they haven't even gotten angry yet. They haven't even realized that the system does not work for them yet, you know? So they haven't even, like, realized that they have the power to make their money last one more day. And that's what happened that day. And, for people, realizing that it is a necessary evil for people to call their representatives, for people to boycott, for people to do all the things that they say that you are supposed to do to vote X, Y, and Z. These people need to realize that the system does not work after they've done all that the system asked them to do. And they need to get angry, and then change will come. Everyone needs to go through, like, all of these steps. And I was like, "Oh, I get it now." Um, and, I think that I kinda, like, wanna spoon feed, uh, the, existence of trans people as it is, like, vastly under attack in this country right now, and I wanna start by, like, being a human, and maybe the next step will be something else, and maybe the next step will be actually, the next step will be something else, but we have to figure that out first. That was I went a lot of different places there, but that's
Yeah, no, I totally hear you. I I felt the what resonated for me mostly was like the fact that you were saying existence first.
yeah.
I feel like that is so powerful. Existence first, and it kind of reminded me of something that I just recently stumbled upon by this influencer that I'm not remembering their name right now, but they were creating space for queer activists to come and to like to share space with each other that's not around survival, or that's not around collect commemorating around like a protest or something like that. it,
Mm,
it was just more like showing up and just maybe having a meal together,
yeah,
maybe going to the grocery store together,
yeah,
building that sort of like, as you said, existence first, where we're doing things together that are beneficial to our like our living, our us being human beings, us being alive.
yes,
Um, and but but it just goes along with what you just said about that, about existence first. It's just kind of like we've we have had to fight so much that we have no time. We don't have the space to even enjoy moments of like of joy,
yeah,
moments of joy.
yeah,
And so now we need to carve out space, essentially, for
absolutely.
ourselves to do that amongst our other friends, our other comrades, our other siblings,
Yes.
trans siblings. So yeah, so that really resonated. That's it. I love that. That's gonna stay with me for a while. Existence first.
I'm glad. Thank you so much, and I'm like, and that's I think like where like the All's Good Sundays like really hit for me because
Mm,
it's like we are literally existing, like we are making the
yes.
sound has been made, the music has been made, the collaboration has had happened. People know each other that they didn't before, and it's just and it I didn't even expect. I'm like, where are all these queer youth coming from? Where were y'all before this? Is my question. I'm
Yeah.
like, what where were y'all before this? Like actually. I'm like, oh my
Mm,
gosh.
yeah.
So
I'm I'm afraid. I mean, I want to say they probably were hiding, you know, which is kind of sad, but but on the bright side, they're showing up now. They're
yeah.
coming out. They're coming out, and they know they have a safe space to go to.
Yes.
So that's really amazing, and yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone is thankful that you've created this. I'm thankful. I wish I can, come there and hang out.
It would be great. Any thought?
So, what came first for you, in terms of when you were creating this album?
First thing that came was hell. It's like living and like the experience of everything. I think I don't think I've ever written like out of the blue. Or if I have written out of the blue, it's like there's a narrative that I'm like very unfamiliar with. And then further down the line, the narrative like gets filled in by like life experience. And I'm like, how did that happen? I'm not trying to say that I am any particular thing besides a human being. All I'm saying is that I'm scared. Huh. I want to say that the songs were made in chronological order, essentially.
Mm,
It didn't feel like it because it felt like everything was just like very jumbled. And I remember being in the process of like finishing up this album and like um I I felt like I was at a place. I felt like I'm wide awake today. I'm wide. I'm
wide awake
I'm
and
wide awake.
yes. Yes.
I felt like
Yes.
I'm wide awake, and then, like, the next day, I would feel unlovable, and I'm like, "Oh, I thought I was here. What happened?" It was so hard,
Yeah.
but definitely the life experience came first. It just did,
Mm.
and it feels like a
Mm.
cop-out answer because, like, I know you're asking, like,
No, it's
musically,
not.
but I like, I loved, I lost, I regained, I rebuilt, and
Mhm.
then I wrote, um,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
it things came before other things. On It Long uh was kind of the first, like, single, first, like, little gem to come out of everything. I remember that just, like, a lot of bus stops. That just came to me at a bus stop. I was at a bus stop, and it's just like, uh, uh. I was like, what if you take the intro to this Michael Jackson song and then take the bass
Mm.
line to Deja Vu and then, like,
Mhm.
add this, like, thing, but then we're gonna make it, like, Earth, Wind& and Fire, like, but then we're
Oh
gonna
my god.
it was just a lot going on. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I would say narrative and then that, like, the different sounds and, like, the way
Mm.
almost like where the beat falls, I think. Like, how I'm gonna groove to the song comes before, like, the groove itself. And then I go figure out
Mm.
the groove, figure out the harmonies. And then I actually like, other artists, I guess, don't do this, and
Mm.
I felt pressure to change it, but I will, like, write the song after I have, like, the chords. So it's, like, groove, stuff like that, chords, and I write the lyrics to the piano, and then the song stays like that for, like, a while. Just, like, what's in my head, the chords on the piano, and the lyrics that have been written, and then after a while, I'll gain the consciousness to produce the beat,
Mm.
and then last is, like, the vocals and the horns. The vocals
Mm.
and the horns come last,
Mm.
um and if there are horns, lead vocal first, and then the background vocals and the horns will come in. And the horns are like, I don't know, I use the trumpet, like, not, like, really as a trumpet, like, half the time on this album. I just kinda use it as, like, more background vocals just for the different texture, I think, to me.
Mm.
And artists like Brandy, MJ, Bianca, Ariana Grande, they are artists that, like, have, like, upheld the art of layering that
Mhm.
vocal in the back, and
Mhm.
I am, like, obsessed
S with that.
with
Yeah.
vocal layering. I will
Yeah.
layer vocals and, like, 'cause, like, that's where you get the chaos from. That's, like, where the chaos of Super Silky Killa came from. Like, the background like, the all the chaos of Super Silky would not exist if I did not do, like, the background vocals to, like, I don't know, to Oceans first. Like, all, like,
Yeah.
the choirs and stuff like that, and, like,
Yes.
let the chaos be
Yes.
there. Like, let that be there.
Yes.
And, and then you actually mentioned, with, like, some of, like, the genre, like, inspirations from the album Gospel. And I am so happy that someone has said that because I feel like people are maybe they're like, you know, trying to be like in my defense because I feel like uh, a lot of the time people be like, oh, like black gospel, right? You know, and then I've gotten that like at the, like this like little HCC at this community college, Holyoke Community College I went to. I like found myself like getting, like, pinned to, like, sing a certain way, and I'm like, "I actually didn't grow up with that background, but I'm glad that
Right.
you think that I have a really soulful voice. Thank you so much." Um, but there is gospel. I made choruses with my voice, and,
Mhm.
that was so much fun and so exhausting.
Mhm. I can imagine. Yeah. But the thing is, you brought it up, you when you do that, it's kinda like you're creating a choir
Yeah.
in the song, like an actual choir singing, So that's like the gospel part of it,
Mhm.
and also the chaos, but, an awesome chaos, a magical chaos is just like, "Wow, this is amazing." So, yeah. Um, so that said, I was gonna ask you, how does this album differ from your past works? or maybe even be the same, maybe kind of like a stepping out of the previous self where you're becoming more of something,
Mhm.
and letting go of some, past ways that you've been doing things.
Yeah. This album is, like, so much more me than anything I, like,
Mm,
made before. Like, not even like a I don't know. It's, like, definitely it's almost like a return to, like, center, I think, um, as a composer and as a musician, because I feel that my past works just coming straight into, like, the pandemic, like, I got me my little FL Studio, and I was jamming on that. Actually, a lot of my old work was just made in such a chaotic way. I used, like, the MP3 files, exported MP3 files from my notation software that I used to compose with, like, some sound fonts, and then would, like, record the vocals over that in, like, Audacity before I got FL Studio. It was just very chaotic and honestly, uh, sonically lower quality, but, that's okay, and, but the main thing I think for me is that, my past project by myself, um, I think even on the cover, I'm, like crouched down to almost like a fetal position, sideways from the camera, and I'm like just into myself. I'm just the whole background is dark, and I'm just very like, you know, almost like a shell of myself.
mm.
I'm also butt naked. That's beside the point. It was artistic. There's like lights and stuff. It's fine. Um,
Yes.
and then all's good. I'm like, I have this suit on, so we have clothes on.
Mhm.
Amazing,
Mhm.
Paris. I'm
Yes,
glad.
you do have clothes on.
um, And, I have my trumpet in my hand. The trumpet is with me. Like, the trumpet
Mhm.
is with me now. Like it
Mhm.
wasn't before, like, during that time, and now it's with me back. And the lights are on, is what I feel like it
Mm.
is. I feel like the lights are
Mm.
on, and I'm staring at the camera,
Mm.
and I think that, for me, like, signifies a lot of the change between those 2 projects. I'm I'm ready to first of all, bring it back. Bring it all the way back. I hit that little lean, I was like, um, but yeah, and I think opening up as well. I think, writing-wise, I was very, like, big with the details, and I think with
Mm.
All's Good, I didn't need to list everything out necessarily, but I wanted to not be afraid to say what happened and speak my truth because the
Yeah.
only way for the whole, like, I'm a human thing to work is if I let myself be said human. Um, a lot of the
Yeah.
production is, of course, like, a lot of live instrumentation. That was very, very important to me to bring that in. All the piano is me playing live grand piano. All
Mm.
the horns are me. All the saxophone
Awesome.
is Alton
Awesome.
Skinner. Um, you know, uh, the vocals are the vocals, I guess. Um, Live bass player, live guitar players, um, and, uh, and there's still, like, some produced elements that I wanted to keep because I felt like I was, getting known for the electronic R&B kind of thing, and I didn't want to completely abandon that, but it had a place, on there, on Wide
Yeah,
Awake,
it
and,
did.
um, um, so yeah, I wanted All's Good to be this, like, welcome palette almost, like
Mm.
this brochure of like, "Okay, this is what we have. Okay, this," and,
Mhm.
I'm thinking I was scared at first because I was like, "Oh my god, with my next project, I had to completely switch it up," but maybe it's, time to curate the sound now, or maybe it's time to I mean, there's a lot of things I could do. I could go I could do way more percussion. I could do no percussion. I could do acapella. I don't know what's gonna happen. All I know is all's good. And I know
Yeah.
that I'm really grateful that I've been in a space where I felt like I can open up and can share um just a piece, I think, of who I really am.
thinking about your influences, which artists you get compared to the most? And I want to know whether you appreciate those comparisons. And also, is there anyone who influences you that you think people would find surprising?
I learned how to steal correctly is, I think, the key. Because there's good stealing and then there's bad stealing. There's always stealing. There will always be stealing. But to steal from many, 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 is the way to go as opposed to, because when you steal from one, that's when you get the one-to-one, comparisons, and that can be very damaging for an artist in their beginning stages. So I'm glad because I've asked the same thing. I'm like, "What do you think this gives? What do you think this is?" And they're like, "I don't know. It's like, but this part is this and this part is this, but like it's." I think that I'm trying to definitely gain my own understanding of my own artistry. But in this album, I did like like just an insane amount of research on disco and funk music, and
Mm,
disco music means so much to me because I actually had no idea the political context of disco music and what it like really represented with the disco sucks movement and everything like that, and really the parallels that were there. And I was like, whoa, like disco music, this is protest music. This is serious. Like this is very, very serious. And it's more than um it's more than the sequence and the horns and the studios and the lines. It's explanation of black queerness and pride and
mm,
there's so many groups. I'm like, there are just so many groups. One of my
yeah.
favorites, songs that I'm gonna forget the name of the actual song, and I'm literally gonna cry. But The Spinners, legendary
Mm,
group, and they're still around. I'm like, "What is going on? I need to see them. If I don't see them, I'll literally cry and I'll die." Um, The Spinners, of course, As With a Fire.
mm,
There was some Michael, Off the
mhm,
Wall was, like, so
mm,
vital in, like, the early, like, thinking of, like, the album, On It Long, Jupiter's Groove, like, Off the Wall was just on repeat, on repeat, on repeat, on repeat, like, that album that album, like, really, like I was like, "Wow," like, I've never, like, heard music that made me dance so hard.
yeah.
Um, I also wanted to I was really inspired by um, Beyonce's 4 because I felt like she, and those producers on that project blended electronic elements and live elements really well, and as I was on this journey transitioning into more live, elements from a very electronic kind of producing style before, it really kinda laid a good footprint for, like, how to incorporate those things. I think we did it in completely different ways, which is fine, but that was great. Um, and I think the influences that people, like, always, like, are like, "Oh, like, listen to what?" Like, I feel like people assume that, like, I listen to just, like, the Stevie Wonders and the Nina Simones and the things of that sort, and I do. I do, I love them down. But I also love, love, love electronic music. I love, house music and, like,
House.
garage. I get there I listen to some okay, I'll just listen to just straight Vogue beats, and my guitarist is, like, in the car, like, "What is this?" And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like this is um, and I think people don't get it because it sonically may not appear on in my music yet, but um, the the confidence behind that, like
Yeah.
the willingness to even be like so percussive, I think that definitely shows up on the album. DCI, Drum Corps International,
Mm,
like drum and bugle corps. That's,
okay.
like, a big inspiration of mine, which I feel like people would not necessarily get because like, I got obsessed with it after I did marching band myself in high school, and the
Mhm,
percussive elements, like, just the drum line, like,
mhm,
my flows and my ways of, like, attacking a beat are very inspired by, like, snare lines and things of that sort.
Yeah.
Even, like, the way, like, I'll accent, like, a certain thing, like,
Mhm.
um, I was there when you were struggling, nigga, couldn't find a job. I was there every time you
Yes.
did it.
Yes. Yes.
Like, that's
Yes.
what that is.
Yes. 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 That
So,
that flow is amazing.
thank you. Um, yeah, it's a little all over the place, and then my favorite classical composer is Gustav Holst, who created the
Mm.
planets, and I'm,
Mhm.
like, obsessed with that. He composed in that orchestral suite, there's an orchestral piece for every planet except for Earth, as there's gonna be, and there's, Jupiter, and Jupiter is just
Mm.
Jupiter is just, like, that piece just could melt anyone,
Yeah.
and, so many things went into why Jupiter's Groove is called Jupiter's Groove, and that's, like, one of those things, like, one of those little things, I think for me. Yeah.
Mm. Well, it totally makes sense now because I was like, Jupiter's Groove. That
Yeah.
that sounds that sounds deep.
It's also the name of my cat, R.I.P.
Oh my
Jupiter.
god.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's fine.
yes.
But, yeah.
Alright, so how would you say your sound differs from other genre-related artists?
I think my willingness to go somewhere else, um, musically, I
Mhm.
think I think gives me a certain edge because as soon as I'm done thinking like a pop star, I start thinking like a composer. And now the chord progression is just something that you like would not really expect. Or if you don't like understand necessarily like if you don't have a musical ear even, because I do not, oh my goodness, sorry, would have put a
What?
small pin in that. I hate, and do not want to get compared to music for musicians. It's like a particular kind of sound. It's okay. It's great. You know what? It's actually great. I love it. um, but I wanted to make music that was like different and sonically really interesting and really smart in a lot of harmonic ways, but
Mhm.
was still like have appeal to just any person, because there's some
Mhm.
music and it's like, it's supposed to be like extra complicated and it's in this like key with this thing and it's like half stepped and this is like this. I don't know. There's a lot of things going on.
Mhm.
Um, and I think my music differs from that in sounding familiar and sounding relatable and I think, there's always a groove, you know?
Yeah.
Even when
Yeah.
you get, like, the unexpected, like, there's a groove to, like, hook onto, like, something is there that feels grounding to somebody, um, and I think at the same time, it differs from pop music because it just, like, is not pop. It took me so long to, like, acknowledge All Night Long as being a pop song. Someone
Yes.
said that was a pop song, and I was like, "No, it's not." Yeah, it is. It's fine. It's fine, but it's different, It's not just like,
Yeah.
and I think it differs from pop music. Main way is that I did a lot of research on disco, and I also wanted to inject what I knew musically to really create a product that honors the past in a way that
Mm.
feels still fresh and authentic, I
Mhm.
think.
Mhm.
Because it's very easy. Air now, like disco is like the whole every other song that's like top of the charts is like this like it's great. I love it because I be jamming too. But I'm like, okay, this is it's a little bit more retro with me,
Right.
kind of like a souldy almost. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so. It can be that.
it
I
can
I
be.
totally think you can it kinda lands like that. I feel it. I feel it.
Some of them songs. How would you? Where does it land for you? Because I'm very curious. I'm still gathering. Like,
Um,
how would you say?
like, for All Night Long, um, it's definitely the hook,
Mm,
and then also, like, the reframing,
mm,
and how, like, it's just, like it's almost like sugar, being on sugar,
mm.
if that makes sense.
Okay.
Um, it's just like, maybe not sugar, but it's just like when I was experiencing it, I was just seeing light everywhere. It's
Mm,
just like it was just wow, everything is illuminating, everything's just like glowing and just and that's what that is for me too. So
that's kind of what the music video looks like, honestly, it's just pretty lights.
all right. So, okay, which do you prefer? Studio work or performing live?
Oh, Nikki, how dare you? What? Oh, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry now. Performing. Performing. I love studio work,
Mm,
but performing
mhm.
live is just it's,
Yeah.
yeah, it's invigorating. They both have, like, their ups and downs. I think
Mhm.
recording, I think, can be when I'm especially when I'm in it, it's, like, a lot more consistent, I think. Performing is like a wild card almost because it's like you'll perform
Mhm.
the same set in front of, like, in a different place on a different day, and, like, night and day reaction. Both can be good or both people respond to things differently, but performing, I think I wrote an album that lended itself to being performed live. You are supposed to hear Honey with a live band, period.
Right.
So,
Right.
that's yeah, live.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you on that. Especially your music. I feel like it has to you have to experience it live. You wonder, like, for me at least, I hear it and then I'm just like, "Wow, what is that experience? What would that experience be if I went and saw them live?"
Mm,
Because it's just like yeah, it takes you another place. And I'm not saying like, there's something wrong if that album that's comes out
mhm,
and, you don't ask that question. That's not my argument at all. It's just more like it built curiosity around how is this gonna be sounding live
mm.
and how is it gonna affect me. So yeah. So I totally hear you. Okay, so are there any queer, trans, non-binary artists you would like to shout out and recommend?
Chestina Thrower is a impeccable jazz vocalist, in the area that I'm from. Jamogi Bridges is also impeccable. He is from Kansas City, and him and the Jammers, they be, like, just doing the thing. Like, we always have this joke that we're basically the same artist, but, like, halfway across the country. It's, like, insane. Xavier Flowers, down in Texas, honey, he has, like, just the most, like, gorgeous, like, buttery voice, and he has this song called The Pisces Effect. I'm like, "Ah!" And he will be featured on a song that is gonna be a part of, like, the extension of music for this era. It'll be coming out very, very soon. And, uh, Warren, Dumas as well. He's an impeccable performer. Um, and Lamar is an incredible poet, uh, from DMV, honey, down from, Carolina, North Carolina, um, and he's the featured poet on
Mm,
Oceans, and we have
yeah.
a collaboration together as well. Just to name a couple, I'm glad I actually thought of something. But, yeah, and there's so many. I've been, like, so grateful to, like, connect with so many, like, other Black queer artists. I'm, like,
Mm,
just doing a thing,
right.
and we're coming through. Make
Yes.
way, make room.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah.
All right. So this may come off as a little bit off topic, but I think it is on topic a little bit. So are you reading anything, any books, anything actually that is exploding your mind?
Mm, um, music-wise, I'm, like, doing my research, doing my homework, really, and, like, taking a full dive with my trumpet into the real book, as I should be doing. Um, but, books, like, as of recent that I've, diving into and, like, really is, Finding Me, by Viola
Mm,
Davis, her autobiography.
mm.
it's, like, so astounding to, like, hear it's, like, weirdly validating to, like, hear how so much, uh, hurt and, what is the word? Not finding it. Starts with a A. Not finding it. It's fine. Um, adversity, there it is, can, like, produce such excellence, you know?
Mm,
It's affirming in a very, very weird sense because
yeah.
I find that, like, my pain, it informs how hard I go as an artist, and, I think that along with the self-work and the focus and the attention to community, um, yeah, her autobiography has just been really inspiring me to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's beautiful. Also, that's the other thing too, the product of adversity as well is beauty, creating
Mhm.
beauty, So I'll definitely have to check that out. Okay, so where can folks find you?
Ah, you can find me on Spotify, Richard Parris Scott, RICHARD, PARRISSELTT. You can also find me on my website, which is www.rschardparrissseltt.com. And then also on Instagram and Facebook.
What? Why did you say it with a sigh like that? Why
Cause
was there a
because
sigh?
meta stresses me out and I don't have time for this anymore any longer. No.
Okay.
I started a Pinterest. I felt like it would be
Mm.
different. And I'm like, I felt like I'm a
Mhm.
very like visual artist and there's a lot of like
Mhm.
pictures from performances and music videos. So I'm
Mhm.
also on Pinterest under the same name. Um and this album, it's everywhere. Thank goodness. It is quite literally everywhere, except for SoundCloud. Sorry for the SoundCloud listeners. Maybe I'll work on that. But it's everywhere. It's Amazon and oh, Amazon. See, I'm so tired. But it will be on my website as well, and physical copies coming soon. So yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, it was such a pleasure to meet you, speak with you, talk about your music. I know I'm gonna be listening to All's Good, like maybe even tonight, and just like soak up what we discuss, like really process it. I know I'm gonna be processing this for a while.
Oh.
So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nikki, for having me. This is such a beautiful, beautiful platform. I'm so grateful to be here.
So that was Richard Parris Scott. Aren't they amazing? I had such a great time talking with them, and their music is so dope. Their album, All's Good, is available on all the things. So we're going to listen to one last track called Oceans. Listen up.
I know you want me, and I know you want to love me. Oh, should hear me, want to steer me, 'cause you that I want to feel the ocean wash over me. Feel the ocean wash into me. Because I like the attention your life that makes you overflow. My time, never know you know it, never let you go nowhere. Take me to another place, another time. If you don't know, then I'll show you how. Left hand, right thigh, right arm, leg. See and be back. The ocean wash over me. Feel the ocean wash over. Feel the ocean wash into me. Feel the ocean wash into me. Feel the ocean wash over. Feel the ocean. Feel your ocean wash into me.
The moon is out and I'm oceanside, finally ready to realize that I am enough. The breeze is ready to meet me where I am. Plans fall at the wayside as I laugh at perfection, stroking my man's erection. This passion fruit of dream of mine is real as it comes to fruition. Made my limits out of lemonade so that I may listen clearly, fiercely. I am ready to shine, glisten, and shimmer from dawn to moonlight, to moonlight.
Thanks for listening to When We See Each Other. I'm your host, Nikkiesha McLeod. This show is produced and edited by Jeremiah McVay. If you like what you hear in this show, please rate and review it in Good Pods, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else that allows that. And please follow us wherever you happen to listen to podcasts. Doing so helps us to expand our audience and is much appreciated. You can find more information about this show at stereoactivemedia.com/whenweseeeachother. And you can get in touch with us at stereoactivemedia@gmail.com. Also, follow us on Instagram and TikTok under the handle WWSEO Pod. Talk to you later.
This podcast is produced by Stereoactive Media.